Hello again. It is Hannah the Geeky Witch. I have since my previous video changed my YouTube name from JD the Geeky Witch to Hannah the Geeky Witch. Hopefully I will just keep it at that because nobody likes when people are constantly changing their names. That is actually what I've got to show you. And today I wanted to do, it's something of a VR, not necessarily specifically, I just want to show you actually. The reason why I say it's kind of a VR is because I actually started this one, that there, yeah, I started in January 2017, just after, so I did sort of, and then we got stuff like this, which I tried, and then, yeah, so this is where I started. So I just went through, and word of the year when I started my bullet journal, so I was going to try that, and some goals and things, but mostly I just went onto Pinterest, found ideas, and I would write them in. This layout I chose because my original reason for doing the bullet journal was actually CBT reasons, which is cognitive behavioural therapy. I won't go through all of this because some of it's probably quite personal. I just do things I liked. But the main thing was cognitive behavioural therapy, and the thing that helped me was every day to write down positive things that happened in the day. So I started this with that in mind, but I've since been very inspired by many YouTubers actually. I know the first person I really saw talking about it was Molly Roberts from Her Speak, but since then obviously we've got Jessica the Story Witch, Samantha Menzo, there have been several witchy YouTubers that have really, they've shown like their witchy bullet journals, or even like bullet journal book of shadows, however they use it. I know a friend of mine actually uses her bullet journal as a book of shadows. I think she's got a few different bullet journals, and it's so inspirational to me. So I mean, a lot of the early stuff in here is just me going on Pinterest and going, I like that, that might be useful to me, trying it out. So here we go. I went on to February that year, I tried a different font thing, and I was like, I'm going to do a new layout, and here's a habit tracker I never did. Setup, which just failed miserably because I didn't have any washi tapes really, I didn't have any stamps. My mind was not very flexible, so I went to set it up. To-do list, because I mean bullet journal, I wanted to track some World of War order, so I did that, and then I was like, 2018, let's get on with this again. I actually really like how this, because it's all, well, this as well. Again, this is just stuff that I found on like Pinterest or maybe even Instagram, that I just liked because my creative mind is terrible, but I really like how they looked. And then I did this, which is sort of a, move that there, if there is in trackers, and it's positives down here, future logs, books to read. I've got reading in there 3 times. Anyway, lots of different things, and a little pusheen because I love pusheen. Yeah, so this spread turned out okay, and this is the part that I would like to say is sort of a VR. I never did the autumn spread. I might still do that, but I'm not sure. However, as you can see, I didn't do a lot with it up to this point. January 2017 was pretty useful, but I'm finally trying to get back to it. Jessica the Story Witch is, she's been showing people her witchy bullet journal and how she's setting it all up and things, and I really got inspired to try to consolidate both my witchy plans with my life plans, right? So I started out with this title page. Again, it's inspired by Pinterest. The little kitty and the pumpkin, they were definitely, I think I just searched for like pumpkin doodle or something, and I found this that I was using for the header back here. It's the same one. It's I can't remember the name of it. If I do, I will pop it in the I like the idea of having the mini calendar down on the page spread. So if I have any the lights just got a bit too bright. Hang on a sec. Let's see. There we go. Maybe bring that a little. I've got one of these daylight light bulbs for my cross stitch, and it's helpful, but also sometimes really not. That should be fine. I think we can see it now. So anyway, yeah, I like how this turned out. And I found these pastel highlighters from Poundland, which I picked up, and I tell you what, I love the way the pastel highlighters look in people's bullet journals, so I thought getting, I think it was 4 doubles for £1. And when I turn this over, you'll see there's no bleed through, and I am using, this isn't a Leuchtturm, this is actually a moleskin. I don't think, I'm not, you can see the logo down there because it's an engraved thing. The moleskin shop in Cologne, there's a shop in the train station, and they engraved, again, my initials down here, because my name, being double-barreled, is beyond 12 letters long, which is lovely. So just got my initials, which is quite nice. Simple but good. So yes, turn this page, and there is no in love with them. I think they look great, and there's no bleed through, and that is exactly what I want. So this page, I know this is definitely inspired by Jessica, who I did not realise I was getting the same planner this earlier this year when I did pick up a planner. Mine has some glitter glue on it because I had an accident the other day, and I thought, why waste what's all over my hands? So it's now on here. Yeah, so all of this I just copied out of here. I know Jessica uses a lot of collage, so she would take, here we are, it's these pages. She would take these pages and stick them in her book. I wasn't sure if I might need what's on the front and back in future, so what I decided to do was just signs and symbols and information is right here. Excuse me. But it's just very basic. You saw nothing. It's just very, very basic stuff. This is getting out of focus. Yeah. There we go. So I've got all of the astrological symbols, which house they're in. Some of these don't look perfect, but I've done my best just so I can remember what symbols to use and what they would look like, which sign they're in, which house they're in. The quality thing, I'm not 100% sure what that means yet, but if it comes up, it's all there. Which element they belong to, which planet they're connected to, which I think will be particularly relevant when it comes to astrology and stuff. I'm very, very new with astrology. And then I looked into it and I was like, holy heck, astrology actually makes some kind of sense now. So yeah, I've got all this in here. So journal resources, because a lot of this doesn't make sense to me yet, but I've got the aspects along here, so any symbols and what there would mean. So what degree, I guess, I've actually started reading Astrology, I'm not sure, don't quote me, and eclipses and things, so I know where I've got moon phases. I can remember which one's waxing, which one's waning, and all that sort of good stuff. So I thought it'd be nice to have all this, just copied it out, made it look nice. And the only problem I have here, where I've done the symbols, I've used, I have these just Stabilo fine point pens, and the bleed through on these, it's not terrible if I'm careful, but if I turn the page, this will be my monthly calendar for October, and it's hard to see, but right along here you can see the bleed through from the symbols. A lot of it is okay, it's mostly just ghosting, but there is 1 or 2 points where you can see a bleed through, and it doesn't bother me too much because it's only minor and it's only a couple of bits. But yeah, so this is my monthly calendar. I did use the Stabilos on like the dates and stuff, which I don't 100% like the colour of this orange, how it turned out, but I went with it. It's kind of an autumnal theme, but it's fine. So all I've done here is, if I've got something going on, I've written it in, and if there's some kind of astrological thing, I've put the little symbols in, like here that's Pluto going direct, and that one is, I believe that's Venus going retrograde, which I do not understand what that means just now because I'm very new to this, but again, I thought it's useful to note this stuff down. And then like for the moon phases of here, and moon is, I've just put, say, you know, full moon is in Taurus, so when I understand what that means, it's here. And then just things like the clocks going back, Samhain. Yeah, so that is the basic of my overview calendar. I added a little column just so if I've got a general note for a particular week, I can just note it down here. So like I've got a couple of videos I wanted to look at, and a couple of things I needed to go through. Again, like down here, I need to go back to the doctors in a couple of weeks, so I've put that. And then down here, that's just for month notes, so if it's something that carries over or something just for the month in general, then I can pop that there. So I've got space all over for all the notes I need. And then I thought, as I'm trying to learn the tarot, I find daily and even weekly a little bit too much for me right now. That's mostly with my mental health. I find it very difficult to correlate a tarot reading with reality and what I really should be focused on. So I've just decided to try monthly tarot draws. Already I have been completely overthinking the fact that I drew the Justice card for October. So that will be a part of my tarot journey, learning sort of not just what the cards mean and how I intuitively read them, what they mean from the books and stuff, but also how not to overreact. Because there are many cards, I think you can do this with any card, where you look at it and you go, oh dear God. And actually, I have the card right here, I can show you exactly. I was using the, cannot remember the name of it, but you probably do if you do tarot, this deck. Absolutely beautiful. So I look at this and I see seeking balance, basically, but she's here so I can keep referring to it for now, because I've got a nice little pocket back here with a few stickers and things. I got this, I love this witch kitty. I still don't, one day I'll find the perfect place for it. And then I got this little Kirby. Stickers! Gotta love stickers. Oh, and I don't know if you've ever seen these, but I gave my husband there was a crow with a knife. I gave him that for his laptop because I got the pin, but the little owl and all these sorts of things. Yeah, I love stickers. I don't have enough of them. But I just like to keep little things like that back here, so if something comes up, that's that. And these are just some spare bits of paper which I pulled out of a note I was using for D&D, so if that ever comes up, that's there. So anyway, yeah, slight tangent, but that's what's in the back of my bullet journal. I haven't put anything back here apart from a few pen tests. Anywho, because that's where I was just seeing the bleed through. None of those. Because I was watching Brian's live chat about numerology and the tarot, so I did put the numerology for justice just there. I don't know. Things I do without really thinking about them, but perhaps they have relevance. I need to check. There's a lot of things with my mental to sleep by 2. I've tried to be fairly easy on myself because I'm in a very bad... If I've taken my medication for the day, because I keep forgetting, and even with the app I have, I still ignore the alarm and don't take it. I do need to mark that off today. If I brush my teeth, if I've moisturised my face, any hair care, done my bullet journal, if I've written in my journal or done anything with my grimoire, trying to read more. I really should mark that off for yesterday. Actually, I did do some reading. If I go outside, because my agoraphobia is a pain in the neck, actually brilliant. I'm home, so that's one. It's kind of an obstacle, but you know. And this is my moon, weather, and mood tracker. So we've got all the moon phases around here. I did circle the new moon and the full moon on my monthly calendar, and then I'm also tracking what the really should throw in the temperature, I think. I'm not sure. Things like the wind and the temperature as well there, but we'll come back to that. And then my mood, which I've got a key for down here. So I'm just sort of tracking if I'm feeling motivated, cheerful. I didn't want to put happy because I find that a really awkward emotion to track, because happiness tends to be a very quick emotion, whereas cheerful and contentedness is more of what I'm aiming for. So yeah, I mean, one day I went out into town and I had a nice little day with my husband. So I mean, I was quite tired, which I'm tracking with green, but I was a little ombre effect. Yesterday I was a little bit stressed, but mostly just tired, so just did that. So I've got anxious, stressed, depressed, irritable, angry, tired, sick, just those sorts of things. So I can track, I can see what the moon phase is like alongside the weather outside, because I'm still not sure if I suffer with seasonal affective disorder or not, because I'm clinically depressed, so it's don't know if the weather affects my mood or not. Perhaps it does, perhaps it doesn't, I don't know. But I think as a witch it's interesting to track the natural cycles and my mood alongside them and things like that, and just what's going on. So anyway, I really like how that came out. I might do some changes to how the weather, but apart from that, I love it. And then just these two. This is the last bit. So I've got some washi tape down here I had a bit of a blank space here and it looked a bit bland. Basic washi tape I've got laying around. And this expands on my trying to get more sleep. So I've done these markings down here for my my intended sleep pattern, which, you know, ideally I'd like to be asleep by 9, but that doesn't always happen. In fact, it very rarely does, which is why you might notice if I'm saying I want to get to sleep by 1 here, yet on the habit tracker I said sleep by 2. So that way, eventually, the idea is I will move backwards and backwards and backwards. You know, it's a gradual get these things fixed. But yeah, so all I've got is day, and then I can use my highlighters just to mark when I went to sleep-ish. I do tend pretty fast when I go because I'm usually exhausted by that point. And then when I wake up, so I can track, you know, it's very difficult, the things we do. And then just a positivity and gratefulness log, which is kind of similar to how I was originally using the journal, but I don't want to do weekly spreads because it's too much pressure and end up doing it. So I thought one small pot of positivity or gratefulness for each day, and hopefully if I'm having a bad day when everything is shit and you're just like, what's the point? Then you can just think, right, okay, think shit, what really happened today? Is there anything I'm grateful for today? Anything positive happened? You know, anything small, anything big, I can... Sorry about that, my husband just called me. Yeah, so that is my bullet journal. I will what it is that I need and don't need going. Obviously next month I won't need to rewrite all of this about the astrological symbols, the planets, the moon phases, because that's already here. I can refer. I really like the idea of this cover page, having a nice little cute doodle and stuff. It's something happy to look at. So I can open this up to October and go habit tracker. But yeah, going. Do any of you guys keep a bullet journal? Do you include your tarot spreads or your? Do you track the moon phases? Just use it for your mundane life. Are you interested in bullet journals? I'd love to hear and what you do in your own practice with bullet journals and planners and diaries and things. Just if you feel inspired, go ahead and either make a video about it yourself, and make sure to check out Jessica the Story Witch, because she will be doing some live streams at some point. I believe she said it would be for the new year, and that will be all about setting up a witchy bullet journal and what to go in, and that sounds like it's, I presume, because she is not sure what I can do about removing this. I will hopefully see you again very soon.